What's up guys, Ruppy here, welcoming you to week 3 of the UNPL Winter Wildcard. Last week, our Columbus Swoo got on the board with our first win in this side season, pulling off a rather big win over Emerald Miner and his Demolition Force. It wasn't without a good amount of hacks in my favor though, considering Carcoal got a lot of flame body burns in that game, along with Rotom's Will-O-Wisps. But spreading burns to weaken his team was the game plan, and it came together perfectly. This week is not going to be easy for us, however, as we find ourselves staring down a very familiar face in the Twi-Night Slashers, coached by Crepuscul. Still hope I'm pronouncing that right, and I sincerely apologize if I'm not. Crep's team has some scary threats we need to deal with this week. I'm going to note right off the bat that due to the restrictions of this tier we're playing, Blastoise is banned from running Shell Smash, and Ninetales can't have Drought as an ability. Still, Blastoise is a powerful tank even without the ability to Smash, and Ninetales is still a fast fox capable of scorching my roster if I'm not careful. Especially since the ability it's left with is Flash Fire, which could come back to bite me. Sneasel has the potential to run circles around me and slice my team to ribbons, especially with Inner Focus blocking any of my Intimidate attempts. Luxray has the potential to be a colossal threat with a Guts boost if I don't respect it. Haunter has the potential to outrun me and cause all sorts of mischief. Bayleaf has actually proven to be a bulky and underrated wall in Crep's hands so far this season. And they have 3 Tera captains that could all pose some big problems for me in Seviper, Zorua, and Rhyhorn. Rhyhorn especially could become a nigh unstoppable tank with the right Tera type if I give it free reign to do whatever it wants against me. Now, Crep's team, like so many others we've come across so far this season, is sporting a massive ground weakness. And you know what that means. We're calling upon the power of Whiscash once more. This time around, we're doing something very different with Whiscash, and that's running a physical set. Specifically, Sub-Dragon Dance. High horsepower and liquidation are my stab of choice, with enough speed investment off a Jolly Nature to guarantee outrun at least non-Scarf Ninetales after a boost. Unfortunately, Jolly Max Speed Sneasel is still just barely faster than Jolly Max Speed Whiscash at +1, so I took this opportunity to pump some HP investment into the set instead. The only real wall, outside of Tera Captains, pending whatever types Crep decides on, is Bayleaf. But, if I can get rid of that thing, Sub-DD Whiscash has some serious potential to just set up and clean house. Especially with me finally finding a use for the Oblivious ability to both ignore attempts to stop my setup with Taunt, and to block Intimidate if that's what Luxray decides to go with instead of Guts. Where there's one powerful tank on my team, you know the other big one can't be too far behind. That's right, Girder is back and ready to plow its way through the opposition. Yeah, this set is pretty much the same as I've been running, but at this point, if it ain't broke, then why fix it? The one change I did make is dropping Ice Punch, as I feel I'd only really need it for Bayleaf, and I can just try to overwhelm it anyways. I did this in favor of Mach Punch, just to try and pick off Sneasel immediately before it starts trying to become a threat, especially if it's already set up. For something entirely new, however, we're going to turn to a mon that is making its debut this game, and one I've been dying to try out. It's time for the debut of Hisuian Sliggoo. This adorable little snail dragon is basically filling Whiscash's usual role this week as my bulky special tank, and Hisuian Sliggoo has a lot of potential to really cause Crep some problems this week. There is not a lot that really wants to take Draco Meteors from modest max special attack, especially since Crep has no dragon resist outside of Tera, and for the especially bulky things their team does have, or in case Bayleaf is able to set up a light screen, I have Acid Spray to forcibly lower their special defense to try and make that a moot point. Ice Beam is to primarily try and cover a potential Tera flying Rhyhorn, and Acid Armor with all the physical bulk I'm running is to address both Rhyhorn if it's a setup variant, and Guts Luxray to try and slow it down. Especially since I'm rocking Shell Armor to make Hisuian Sliggoo immune to critical hits. I'll be honest, I have some high hopes for Hisuian Sliggoo in this game, especially to make up for not bringing it the first 2 weeks of the season. riding the bulky offense train we're rolling with this week, let's talk about Hisuian Qwilfish. Eviolite and Intimidate is pretty standard fare by this point, but I'm primarily running an offensive set this week. Jolly with 176 speed EVs keeps this pufferfish ahead of Jolly max speed Doduo, which could cause some problems if I let it start brave birding all over my team, but Intimidate plus the 80 defense EVs will hopefully help with that. We're going Swords Dance with 3 attacks this week, with Gunk Shot being able to OHKO almost anything at +2, as long as I land it, and Crunch providing powerful and reliable Dark Stab. The real gem of this set, though, is Scale Shot. Yeah, maybe I won't get a high number of hits since I'm not packing loaded dice, but Scale Shot is really all about getting that speed boost to allow Qwilfish to outrun Crep's entire team and rip some huge holes in it. Next up, we have Crepuscul. I'm sure you all know the drill right now with Crepuscul, with the heavier special defense investment this time meant to truly shut down Ninetales or hinder Blastoise, Haunter, or a special Seviper. Tera Water may not make a lot of sense when I'm staring down a Bayleaf, but it does allow for Crepuscul to better handle Ninetales 1v1 if it doesn't have Energy Ball, or deal with Blastoise while also shedding the weaknesses Sneasel could take advantage of with fighting moves. The only major change I made for this week was dropping Stealth Rocks in favor of Power Gem for Rock Stab, as I feel like hazards might not end up being as important in this game with how I've built this team so far, and having Rock Stab in case of something like Terraflying Rhyhorn would go a long way in preventing things from snowballing if I'm not careful. Last but not least, Thwackey is coming back this week. No Eviolite this time, but instead I'm running Terrain Extender to maximize my terrain from Grassy Surge for passive healing, especially given some of the setup options that could really benefit from it while trying to wear down Crep's team. Grassy Glide for priority stab, Knockoff and U-turn for utility and pivoting, and this week I'm also running Taunt to try and shut down any potential setup, or hazards, or screens, or anything on Crep's side to make my life a whole lot easier. The speed investment is once again using Jolly Max Speed Doduo as a benchmark, so I can hit it with a knockoff or pivot out for chip damage if that thing isn't scarfed, so I can try to wear it down before it causes any big problems. That is the team for Week 3 of the UNPL Winter Wildcard. I'd like to give a shout out to Dapper and especially Zenkai for the team building help this week. It's always appreciated, guys. So, will we be able to pay Crep back for the crushing defeat they handed us in the final week of UNPL's last main season en route to their championship win? We'll find out when it's battle time. Alright, it is battle time! Let's see if we can potentially get a win back from Crep from the main season. So, we have Blastoise, Rhyhorn, which is Tera Poison. Interesting. Bayleaf, Ninetales, Sneasel, and Seviper, who is Tera Grass. Interesting. So, I'm curious about, no Luxray actually is a little surprising now. No Haunter. Honestly, part of me just wants to lead Tinsel, get my terrain up right away, and then just go from there. I think I'll do that, because I can just U-turn out on just about anything. Yeah, I think we'll just lead Tinsel and then just go from there. See how this plays out. Alright, good luck, have fun, Crep. Let's see how our our second meeting plays out. Leads with the Blastoise. I will definitely take that. So, I'm gonna get my terrain up. This thing cannot Shell Smash on me, because that is forbidden. Honestly, not a bad lead. I don't mind. It doesn't seem that bad, because I threaten immediately with Grassy Glide. I feel like I could just U-turn out, maybe, into... Not sure, I kind of want to... U-turn and knockoff both work incredibly well here. I think I'm just going to knock off in case this thing is specs. Alright, there's going to be a switch. Okay. I'm fine with that. That means I get an item off of something. And that something's going to be the Ninetales. I'm fine with this. That did some nice damage. There goes Boots. Figured as much. Okay, so Ninetales does not have Boots anymore. It definitely outruns me, and I do not want to take a fire move. I mean, Chestnuts is obvious, but we're going to go into Chestnuts. I mean, I'm pretty sure this Ninetales can't really touch me. I mean, if she reads this and goes Scorching Sands, good play on her part if she's got it. She just goes Energy Ball, predicting the Whiscash probably, which I am all for, honestly. So this is an interesting scenario. And honestly, I don't mind just going straight for a Power Gem. If she has Scorching Sands and reveals it, I can eat it. Into the Bayleaf, which, fair enough. That thing ate that. And you probably go Screens, I would imagine. I'm still just going to go ahead and Flamethrower, though. Oh, knock off! Okay. Gets rid of my Eviolite, which does kind of suck. And that definitely feels like Eviolite, resist right there. Eviolite and a ton of special bulk, I would imagine. I'm just gonna Flamethrower again. As you Giga Drain. Alright, that's fine. That is a crit! Oh, I am so sorry for that one, Crep. I am so sorry for that one. Another Flamethrower would... I'm pretty sure it would kill at this point. I could see the switch into Ninetales, though, to try to get Flash Fire, maybe? Alternatively, a switch into Rhyhorn, possibly? I am just going to go ahead and Flamethrower again. Synthesis. Alright. So, one good thing I do learn out of this is, while this Bayleaf is annoying, it's not a screener, which definitely makes my life significantly easier in the grand scheme of things. I'm just gonna Flamethrower again. This is kind of the stalemate we have fallen into now. It's fine, though. This Flamethrower still does a decent chunk. How many turns of terrain do I have? This is my last turn. I kind of want to just go straight into Snowball, but I also wouldn't necessarily mind. I'm just going to Flamethrower again. It'll burn another Synthesis. And then that way I can... I think my plan from here is to send Thwacky back in. I can get rid of this thing's Eviolite at this point. And then just U-turn out on it into Hisuian Qwilfish, maybe, to go from there. See, I'm just going to go back into Tinsel, get my terrain up. I can knock off this thing's Eviolite, make it a bit easier to deal with. As she switches it out into... And we're right back to this now. Alrighty. I don't think I mind this one, actually. I'm just going to U-turn out, because I don't see that... If she switched it out the first time, I could see her switching it out again, probably into Ninetales. And I can definitely go from there. If she stays in, calling me to U-turn out, then fair play on her part. I can find a way around this thing. Funny how we went through that whole dance. So she's gonna flip turn. And she does outspeed me. Interesting. So that tells me this Blastoise is timid with quite a bit of speed to it. That's fine, though. I can just U-turn out on this thing for some chip. Part of me really wants to go into Qwilfish right now, regardless. I mean, I could also go into Hisuian Sliggoo, but part of me really wants to go into Hisuian Qwilfish. No, I think Hot Chocolate is the play. Get a nice cup of hot chocolate brewing here. I see no downside to Acid Spray, honestly. Yeah, I think I'm gonna Acid Spray, lower this thing's special defense. I mean, I can take a Fire Blast if she wants to go for that. I can take a Scorching Sands. A Burn would kind of suck, but I think we can work around that. I mean, I am a special attacker. All it would really do is just nullify any terrain healing that Hot Chocolate would get. Goofy little marshmallow. Yeah, either this thing or whatever she wants to send in is gonna eat an Acid Spray, and it's not gonna appreciate what falls at Flamethrower. That's fine. Hot Chocolate eats that. I get this Acid Spray off. So with Lord Spadef, Draco definitely kills this thing. It kills... Yeah, I see no reason not to drop a Draco here, because something is going to have to eat it. If not Ninetales dying... Oh! Okay, Encore! I mean, that's... fine. Getting a little click happy there. It's not the worst thing in the world because this thing's special. Oh, we're playing this game, huh? I mean, this thing is at -6 Spadef. I do see the problem here, though. Interesting. I'm just gonna go into Chestnuts then. I'm not gonna risk losing a ton of health off of Hisuian Sliggoo because it's kind of invaluable for this game. Energy Ball, Flamethrower, Encore, Pain Split. Interesting. I mean, I see no Steel types, so they're... Oh, if only I... Well, no, me not Acid Spraying this would have been fine still. So, Sneasel is now before me. Sneasel gets a fighting move, right? Counter, Brick Break. Does it get low kick? It does get low kick. If it actually has low kick, what does that do? Not a lot, actually. So, I still don't think I need to necessarily burn my Tera quite yet. I kind of want a Power Gem to cover the potential Flash Fire Ninetales switch. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to cover the potential Flash Fire... No, yeah. I figured this thing was not staying in, so if she goes into Ninetales... Nope, Blastoise. Which is absolutely fine with me. I can shift this thing with Power Gem. Now the $1 million question becomes, do I burn my Tera now? Or do I go back into Tinsel? Decisions. All I've seen so far is Flip Turn, and knowing that this thing is at least timid with a ton of speed investment. Yeah, I'm gonna Tera. And I think we'll just fire off another Power Gem, chip away at this thing. So I was gonna have to pop this at some point anyway. I know Bayleef's still around, but I can take Bayleef. Bayleef is not a concern. Now that I see what it is, I can work around it. We're gonna flip turn out, which Chestnut is gonna eat. No Flame Body, so we are 0 for 2 on Flame Body burns this game, so that's a far cry from last week. I mean, I guess the universe had to balance itself out in some fashion, so I guess I can't really complain about that. But what do you send in to take a Power Gem? Because if you go into Bayleef, I think with where that thing's at, a Power Gem Flamethrower might take it out. No, that thing healed up off of Synthesis when I... Wait, no, did it? I legit can't remember anymore. Okay, so Leaf Pool is going to come in. Is going to take this Power Gem. So there goes the Terrain, which, in a weird sort of way, kind of helps me, actually. I'm just going to Flamethrower. Yeah, because I figured the Synthesis was coming. That's another Synthesis gone, so I think that's 3 U's now? That has a good chunk of damage there. And I'm going to go ahead and flip back into Tinsel now. Because I think I see where this spiral's going to go. The fact that I switched out means this Bayleef is in fact staying in. Probably, yep, Giga Drain, which Tinsel did not take that as well as I thought. I mean, I know the Terrain is up, but I'm still going to knock off. I would not be surprised to see Ninetales come back in, but yep, there's the Ninetales, which, I mean, that knockoff still did a good chunk, even without the item. It's about 20%, which would make Grassy Glide a roll. I don't know how I feel about that, honestly. I think I'm just going to go ahead and risk it. And I do not get the roll, so you are going to Pain Split. Ugh. That sucks, but I had to take the shot. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go into Hot Chocolate now. No sense in playing around with this. As your Flamethrower. Hot Chocolate eats that. And honestly, I think I just straight up dropped the Draco here. No sense in playing around with Encore at this point. Because you definitely, even if you Pain Split here, Alright, so Flamethrower, which, that is doing a little too much for my liking. But that is a dead Ninetales, so that is off the table. Alright, having Ninetales gone actually helps out quite a bit. As the snake comes in now. The Terragrass Snake. Which makes me really curious now what this thing is. I think I'm just going to go into Snowball. The fact that she went straight into this thing is a little concerning to me. Because I don't know what Seviper would want to do. Okay, good thing I made this play. Coil. Interesting. Well, in response to that, I think I'm just going to SD. Yeah, so if she coils again, I can definitely outboost this thing. I don't know what I would want to do, but... do I SD again? I think I just go for the crunch and try to get the 2-shot. I feel like it'd be better not to play around with this. Earthquake, which the terrain is going to nerf. Alright. And leftovers. So, not so much a 2-shot anymore. There goes the terrain. This is a tough call. There is a crunch roll that does kill from this range. But I definitely die to an earthquake without my terrain if this thing is max attack, which I have no reason to doubt that it is. I think I just go for it. Maybe Crep overpredicts, thinking I would switch out without my terrain. I do not get the roll. Trailblaze! Okay! So this thing suddenly got a little scarier. There is no way you don't Earthquake this time, though. If I had Scale Shotted there... yeah, I think I just go into Tinsel. I think that's the play here. As you do Earthquake again, which is absolutely fine. You definitely have a poison move of some kind, I know that. But I think I'm still just gonna knock off. I think sacking Tinsel here is the play. Maybe that sounds crazy, but this thing's got enough boost to it. Grassy Glide is definitely not gonna kill at this point with the defense boosts. Knockoff might. And if nothing else, if I don't die, I at least get rid of leftovers in that scenario, depending on how Crep wants to play this. Coil, Trailblaze, Tera Grass, even though it hasn't terra'd yet. I don't think she terras here, though. There's really not any particular reason to, unless she thinks I still have speed. Okay, she did get greedy and go for another coil. Which might work out for me. I mean, I get rid of the leftovers at least. There is that. And I think I just Grassy Glide here. Just to try to keep this thing low. As Gunk Shot is the last move, and that is definitely going to kill Thwacky. Noted. But I think I still go back into Snowball. Because with the terrain, I can tank an EQ. Especially after the Intimidate. And a Crunch definitely picks this thing off from here. Yep, Snowball eats that. I fire off a Crunch, and that is Seviper off the table. Okay, that Seviper got a little scary. Crep did not use her Tera, though. That is the important thing. As Blastoise now rolls in. And I know this thing is timid quite fast. I think I'm just going to go back into Chestnuts. Okay, maybe the thing is either timid quite fast, or it is Scarf. I haven't figured out what yet. Water Spout! Well, if that doesn't reek of Scarf, if that doesn't reek of Scarf Blastoise, I don't know what does. Interesting. Okay, so Blastoise is very likely Scarf. That is good to know. I can definitely see a switch. I don't have a problem flamethrowing, actually. Because I figured the switch into Bayleaf is probably coming. Yup. Exactly. So that allows me to get ahead of this thing. Get a nice flamethrower off on it. I am without my Eviolite, right? Yeah, I did lose it. Okay. I kind of want to just go back into Snowball. Yeah, I'm just going to go back into Snowball. Because I can take this thing on. I can heal up with the terrain with what of it is left. If she knocks off, that's fine. I can definitely take that. I get the Intimidate off as well. Just go Synthesis, okay. So this thing is definitely running out of Synthesis. Okay, what is your plan? This is my last turn of terrain. You definitely do not keep this thing in, so I'm curious what your answer is for it. I'm just gonna SD either way. And SD feels almost free right now, especially with Seviper out of the way. I mean, there is the chance Blastoise comes back in, but I guess my question is, do you risk that? Especially since, I mean, Scarf Water Spout is definitely scary, but this game is dragged on for quite a bit. I'm now starting to realize as the Sneasel comes in. Okay, this should be interesting. Because I do not have the benefit of Intimidate here. I am at about half health though. I think I just go straight for the Gunk Shot. You do have Triple Axle. Oh my god, you only get one hit. I am so sorry for that crap. Oh my god. Yeah, that Triple Axle, I don't know if it would have killed with my defense investment. I'm just gonna go back into Chestnuts. I have no reason not to. As you Water Spout again, Chestnuts takes that. I'm just gonna Power Gem. Just in case you do stay in this time, since I did call the Flamethrower last. Yep. That is fine, though, because I can get this Power Gem off. Wear this thing down a bit more. This thing's at about 75% HP. As she switches now into the Bayleaf, I presume. Yep. That's fine. That is absolutely fine. I'm just gonna go back into Snowball. Because Snowball will just take whatever this thing wants to throw at me. Yeah, I don't think this thing can really do a whole lot to me, and I just threaten with Gunk Shot. So Snowball is back in. That is an Intimidate off. If you want to knock off, you can be my guest. You just Giga Drain, which does nothing. I see no reason not to just fire off a raw gunk shot here. If I hit this thing, I do a ton of damage. If I hit Blastoise, that thing, it puts it into a range where Water Spout isn't an issue anymore. Yep, here comes the Blastoise. I'm gonna hit this gunk shot. That is a ton of damage to Blastoise. Which now makes me curious. That thing's at about 25% HP. I think we're just gonna crunch and pick this thing off. Flip turn. That's fine. Snowball takes that. And whatever comes in is about to eat a crunch. So I am actually content with this outcome. I'm pretty sure it's just Blastoise, Rhyhorn, and this Bayleaf. And I severely doubt you go into Bayleaf here on a possible gunk shot. So I assume that leaves Rhyhorn. Yep. Which I know is Tera Poison. Oh my god, I got the defense drop off the crunch. Oh wow. I am so sorry, Crep. Oh wow, this is the game. I'm just gonna crunch again. I think I'm content with just letting Snowball go here, as long as I can get a lot of damage off on this thing, because Blastoise is low. Bayleaf, I don't think can beat me long term. And if I can get this thing pretty low, then I think we can go from there. So I know this thing is Tera Poison. I know Crep hasn't Tera'd yet. I could see it come. Yep, there's the Tera Poison. I mean, not that it matters. I went for Crunch, but with the defense drop factored in, this should still be quite a bit of damage on this thing that I'm about to pull off. Yep, quite a bit of damage. As it oh, the Rock Polish. Okay. Okay, I see ya. I see ya. I'm just gonna crunch again. I'm just gonna let Snowball go. Because trying to set up a potential SD... 30... I think that might be a potential crunch risk at this point with the defense drop. I don't think Crep risks it. Yep, you just go straight for high horsepower. That is fine. You did a great job, Qwilfish. You have earned your rest. And now that leaves the matter of what to do about this thing. Because he's Tera Poison. I think Snowplow is my play. I really want to go into Whiscash, but I know that's just inviting Bayleaf in, and I have no way of touching Bayleaf. So you don't have any particular boosts. You do have a defense drop. A high horsepower would kill, but I should be able to take whatever this thing wants to throw at me. So I think a knockoff into a potential Mach Punch might actually be the play. No, we're going to risk the high horsepower. Poison Jab. Which Snowplow eats. I do hit the high horsepower this time, and that is Rhyhorn gone. Girder redeeming itself from week 1's miss. Thank you, Girder. So that just leaves Bayleaf and a very weakened Blastoise. Speaking of the Bayleaf, here it is. I don't think you can really do anything. I'm just going to knock off, get rid of your Eviolite, make this a little easier on me. So I know you don't have much left in the way of Synthesis. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Girder cleans up from here. You Giga Drain, that is fine. Because I can just knock off, get rid of your Eviolite, which will make bulldozing my way through you significantly easier. Just as I thought. And now we're just going to go ahead and throw a Drain Punch to get my HP back. Are we speed tied? That would be kind of, well... Oh! Oh! That's what you were hiding! Good to know! Good to know! I'm going into hot chocolate now. Counter. Clever. As you synthesis up, but that is fine. Because you are without your Eviolite. I'm going to Acid Spray just to be on the safe side. You knock off my Eviolite, which is fine. Because I get this Acid Spray off, it does decent damage. Lowers your Spadef. I'm just gonna Ice Beam. Yep, this is definitely a dead Bayleaf. Good night, Sweet Leaf Pool. And all that leaves is what I'm pretty sure is a Scarf Blastoise. That is incredibly weak. You're at about 25%, so... Let's see, I'm at 86, so I'm at 32%, so I'm out of range of an Ice Beam. I'm just gonna drop a Draco. Let's see if Hot Chocolate can wrap this up. Surf. Which, Hot Chocolate survives. I drop this Draco, and that is going to do it. So, a 4-0 win. GG, Crep. I am so sorry about a lot of the hacks that was in my favor this game. It was not as planned as all of the potential Flame Bite shenanigans Karkle was last week. I swear to you on that. But that's how Mons go sometimes. I think this is the universe trying to make it up to me for that one key high horsepower miss back in week 1. Weird as that sounds. But still, GG all the same. God, that was a long one. Talk about your slobber knockers. GG once again to Crep. Thank you guys so very much for watching. I apologize this video ended up going on for quite a while. I hope you enjoyed nonetheless. I have been Ruppy, and my Columbus Swoo and I will see you guys next time. Take care.